And we are now live.
Hi! I like being live.
All right, chat room, can you hear us 30 seconds from now? Just waiting.
29,
waiting.
28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22,
He's
That's
21,
annoying.
20.
Sybil, say something so he'll stop. Sybil, we count on you. Where are you? Oh, I should probably start recording just in case. I am now recording. Twas Brillig. There we go. Good audio.
Yay, audio.
The whole point.
My
There we
room
go.
is a mess, but I have a very epic entertainment center.
I like how he edges himself out of the camera to show off the mess that is his room. Instead of centering himself in the camera to hide it. No. We must give it center
Or
stage.
like I do, and
we're all
put the
here to
camera in the
see
corner of my bedroom so you don't see how dirty it is.
I'm still in moving mode, and I'm also in dinner mode over there.
Just trying to eat.
So when I do this,
podcast.
I
dinner
see your
time.
Dreamcast. I see
Yes.
your
there's a
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast there, there's a GameCube, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, original Xbox.
Okay, guys, it is time for us to go live. Are you ready?
I'm alive and so are
Everybody
you.
have their stewardesses in normal upright positions. Alluded to the top of the document.
Ludra, find the document.
That might be helpful. And you notice you now have many lines that used to be mine or Gomez's.
That's fine.
All right. All right, chat room. We are playing without a net tonight because Gomez is not with us, which means I am recording the show, so we're going to sound like crap. So let's just do it. So thank you for joining us for this wonderful event.
Woo!
And with that, we are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
WoW crashes, but in a good way.
spreadsheets in space are shipping out.
The Jedis are getting explosive. It's the Bean Burrito discount.
And we've got Abovan and Bonroku here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy R. I think that's how you say that, right?
Yeah, it's yar. All that and more coming up right now.
All right, pause 10 seconds, give Gomez a place to put the theme, because I can't play the theme back.
Oh yeah, theme song.
Suddenly it's gone to a rave. All right, picking back up in 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to the AIE Podcast, episode number 193. I can't believe it. We're almost at wonderful episode 200. The Die Has Been Podcast, broadcasting from Central Alabama. This is Accusod. Joining me from the other side of the nation out in beautiful Southern California is Eludra.
Hey AIE, I think you're awesome.
And if you couldn't tell by now, Gomez will not be joining us tonight. He is off on secret assignment. We can't just tell you, we can't say any more. The NSA won't let us, but hopefully they let him out again next week and return all of his computer equipment to him. I'm sure
Yeah, that would
it was all
be
mixed
great.
up. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Team Zod, not Team Zod, Team Gomez all the way.
Team Gomez. He's innocent. He didn't mean it.
Free
So,
Gomez.
Eludra, how has your week been?
My week has been interesting, let me tell you. First, I hit level cap in Final Fantasy, like
Yay.
with our Yar guest here.
How
And
appropriate.
Woot. Woot.
I know. And so I'm super thrilled. I am now a dragoon who does not have a big shoot me here target in the middle of her belly armor, because no, that would be silly. There's a big gaping hole. It's the only instance of real gender imbalance armor-wise I've ever seen in this game. Normally they're all like, oh, okay, yeah, you can totally be wearing a belly shirt if you're a dude, but not this time, no. So.
And I have
That's
no idea what
fine.
you're talking about, and I think I'm glad about that.
Well, I look awesome, but my belly button is showing, and it's like a big target for another spear. And
Oh, nice.
yes, but
That makes no sense whatsoever. Why would they do that?
absolutely not. And apparently, this armor's so great, I can't lean back ever. Like, it's all spiky out the back end. So you know what? Whatever.
It's all about fashion.
Yeah, it really is, and I am high fashion let me tell you, I am like Paris in the spring fashion.
Work it, girl.
Oh, yeah. It's also been all about card games over here. I've been playing some Hearthstone, and
Awesome.
yeah, I've been getting a free booster deck every day from just doing the dailies. That's been
Nice.
pretty cool. Yeah, I
I didn't know
got
you got boosters
another
every day from
legendary.
that.
Oh no, you gotta get 100 coins, but the daily
Okay.
quests pay out in coins. So, yeah.
Old Scooby-Doo history back there.
But I've been playing a lot of Hex. Oh my gosh, Hex. Yay, Hex.
How is it? I haven't played it.
Oh, I love it. I love collectible card games, trading card games. I mean, those are one of the first things I ever really started playing. So, for me to have just such a great digital form where the cards transform into other cards and such great things, it's like a dream come true. I play this game all the time. Everybody should play this
Awesome.
game all the time. What about you, Zod? What have you been up to?
Oh, this week, I think you guys know I've been in heavy development mode, getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, working till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and going bed to bed. Other than that, unfortunately, I've like good news and bad news, kind of the best of times, worst of times. Bad news is I had to cancel my WoW and Eve subscriptions for the time being.
Oh.
Unfortunately, my wife quit her job, and I'm really proud of her because it was one of those instances where the person she worked for, who I will not name, they're just the company is really
The
really
Voldemort
bad.
company. Yeah,
They're
Voldemort
horrible.
LLC.
And she finally got to the point where she couldn't take it anymore. The company did something really mean in firing one of her coworkers who she liked a lot, who'd been there for years and years and years. And so she pulled one of those "F you, I quit" moments that I know we all want to do. In our hearts, we all want that moment where
Oh,
we
yeah,
go to
we
the boss and say "F you, I quit." And she pulled that, and I am so proud of her. At the same time, that means we're on one income, so we're kind of, let's tighten the belts a little bit till she gets another job. So I decided, kind of in the doldrums with World of Warcraft, I can cancel my subscription for a few months, pick it back up when Warlords comes out, because I've already paid for Warlords, so there's no point in not playing it. So
Oh, yeah.
The good
Well,
news
you
is
better be there
I'm-
for Warlords.
absolutely. Now the good news is I now have time that I didn't have before to try all those other AIE games that are free to play, because I have no
Yeah.
excuse not to go play them. So I downloaded Lotro last night. I haven't jumped into it yet. I'm re-downloading The Secret World. I need to get Star Wars, Star Trek, Star Wars.
Star
Which
Trek.
one of those? So is it Star Trek the free one? They're both free, aren't they?
They're both free.
They're both free.
Yes.
So I'm
But-
gonna pick a couple of those and get into those. Of course, that's when I'm not playing Heroes of the Storm, because that is my big love. I
I
love
never
that
see
game.
you on. You need to
endlessly.
add me, Zod, because I got in. Do the
You
hero
did. I'm
thing.
happy.
Yes, but
Well, you got to jump in. You have to jump in every Saturday night. We do the big prepare for combat / realm maintenance flex mode podcast groupie thing. We get together. We actually get some other heroes podcasters from outside of AIE, and yes, there are people who podcast who are not in AIE. I was totally surprised too.
Oh my gosh.
But we all get together and we do this big tournament kind of night things on Saturday night. So you definitely got to come for Saturday night's Heroes tournament. But otherwise, yeah, we'll catch you in game. But okay, enough about us. We have two people who've been waiting patiently in the wings here. Glad to be joined by Abovan and Bon Roku.
Call him the other guy.
Words are hard. Yeah, Abovan and the other guy, as Eludra calls him, who are here to talk to us about AIE in Final Fantasy. Is Final Fantasy 14 Realm Reborn? Is that the actual name? That's why we always go R.
Well, there is no more Final Fantasy 14. There's no difference because there's only one game now, Final Fantasy 14: The Realm Reborn. So we just been calling it Final Fantasy 14 because there's no other Final Fantasy 14 out there.
Got it. They closed down the very first one. So we'll start with you, Abbo. Since you hadn't jumped in, how have you been since the last time you were on the show, which has been a while?
Oh, yeah, it's been a little bit, but things been going well. In Final Fantasy Land, it's not called a guild; it's called a free company, or FC. But the free company has been growing. The membership has been.
That's a rock band, isn't it?
What, free company?
No, I'm thinking Bad Company. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
That's also a song.
Yes, it is. I'm trying to think of the lyrics, and I'm drawing a blank, maybe because I'm still eating dinner because I haven't eaten all day. But anyway, so first off, Heroes of the Storm, Zod. I know you're such an influential person. I'm someone who does not have an invite. If with you with such Heroes of the Storm influence, if you can help me out, that'd be wonderful.
No, like I say, it's Ro. I was complaining about it, and Ro messaged me one day and says, "You're not in yet, are you?" I said, "No." He goes, "Okay, check next week." I'm like, "Oh, really? Next week?" I was in. And then Eludra said, I need to be in. And I said, Eludra's not in either. Next week, she was in.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
But I say that because I went and I listened to your podcast live. I was
That's
like,
right.
oh, they're streaming! And I like did my crazy run to the computer, and if you guys can imagine Kermit the Frog going, yay, but me going, ah! And running or scrambling around the house in the most convoluted manner that should be a straight line to my computer. That's how I panic run to my computer. And I plopped down and I watched their entire stream, and it was good.
Well, thank you very much. It's entirely Jasmine. Jasmine makes it awesome.
She wasn't there.
It's always those female podcasters that are amazing. It's us guys. We ruin all the shows.
She wasn't there.
Okay, Bonroku, you've been like totally quiet this whole time. What have you been up to?
Well, I've actually been financial stuff at the moment, so I've been doing all the free things. Currently, we have actually started an AIE tabletop group, and we did our first run of Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 Monday.
Oh, how'd that go? I know I wanted to join into that, but I didn't have that time.
Well, we had a person drop out, so we now have a free place open. It was actually really good. Because it's our first run in to the game. We have a few people that have never played before, and we've taken the slightly non-serious look to it. We spent the first hour just setting stuff up and laughing maniacally about the most random things.
Oh, that sounds like a fun evening start.
Now explain how you play a tabletop game over the internet. How does that work?
Well, there's a online system that we're using called Roll20. It's I think at roll20.net, and it uses sort of a grid system on a whiteboard that you can place backgrounds, tokens on, and stuff like that, and it uses Google Hangouts across the bottom of the board so that you can talk and see each other while still doing the role-playing thing.
Neat.
There's some technical difficulties, of course. I mean, it is a free system, but it works really well and got us going for. Oh gosh, we were supposed to end at 10, and we ended at 1:30 in the morning.
Nice. Mm-hmm. That's a good testament for something. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and we'll dig into Final Fantasy news in just a moment, because I know you guys have a ton, because somebody let Abbo make all the notes. But first, let's cover this week's news. Pause again for a moment for Gomez to fill in the news bumper here.
AIE News.
Sorry. That's cracking me up. I'm losing my voice. All right, Eludra, it is all yours. Take it.
All right, so for those of you who just brought a number of new level 90 characters into the guild, but have no idea how to play them because we're all like paying for them and everything, and like, yeah. Don't worry, Blizzard has published a number of crash course videos to give you a quick overview of one DPS specialization for each class of the game. You'll find these on the battle.net site, and we're going to share the link in our show notes. But let me tell you, having a warrior that you had in vanilla and then bumped to level 90 just because, hey, that character should probably finally hit level cap someday, you can pretty much feel lost. And Icy Veins kind of assumes you know everything that they're talking about, so if you maybe didn't play this tune for a couple expansions, yeah. So these are really handy for everybody, you know. Even if you've just been away from the game for an expansion or so, just polish up and see what's changed and everything, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I bumped my DK to 90, and I'm so lost with him. I have no idea what's going on. They're complicated.
Yeah.
So I got to find the one for that one. All right, so we got some news from the AIE Eve crew, spreadsheets in space. Now, if you haven't heard, AIE Universal is moving to a new section of space. They're moving over to the catch area. Time is running out for you to get all of your junk over to your new home. They will be closing down the corporation headquarters in Shamahai. I think that's what it was called. I've been there many, many times. So if you have anything there, you're going to want to get it out. You want to make a contract for Stu to haul your stuff over to the new home. So, the deadline is this weekend. I believe it's Tuesdays when they're officially closing down the entire base. So, get a move on there, rookie.
You guys are gypsies in that game, I swear.
Totally. We're nomads in space.
Nah.
We need Lotwook in there to guide us around.
No. Lotwook would take a look at that in UI and go, forget this. All right, so Averset, I don't know, I always see that name wrong, is looking to put together a 16-man HM explosive conflict group this Wednesday for the fine folks in AIE SWTOR. We're talking May 28th at 8:30 Eastern. In addition to being a lot of fun, this will get everyone through the hardest part of the quest to get to the Eratach? Why do I get all the weird words?
I may have typed that wrong. It might be Aratech speeder.
Thank you, Zod. So it'll help you get through the hardest part of the speeder. I would blame Zod, but I'm going to be honest with you, fine listeners. I am medicated out of your minds. So, if you are level 50 plus and want to in on this, see Averset's sign-up post in the SWTOR forums. Links are always provided because we love the forums, and we love helping you guys find your way there.
Okay. For those of you who have been working their way into one of AIE's new ventures, AIE and Diablo, El Diablo, Blizzard has announced that the overwhelmingly popular legendary drop rate that they came out here with the 15th anniversary has been so overwhelmingly popular that they're going to keep it. That's right. The base drop rate for legendary items has now officially gone to plaid.
Ooh. You know, people keep posting these screenshots and everything on Twitter of all these legendaries and green things. I'm playing as I never see anything like that, so I'm convinced these people are taking all their legendaries and just dumping them on the floor for a screenshot. You know? I mean, anybody else getting that feeling?
I have to admit, I haven't played Diablo since the first blush when it came out. I haven't gone back in since the revamp.
Oh, the revamp is so
But now
awesome.
I have time. I guess I can.
Yes. Yes, you can.
You owe it to yourself. It is that good.
Is that good? Because I went in, I ran right through all the four, I forget how many chapters there were. Healed Diablo first try, and I was like, okay, well, that was neat. I guess I'll go do something else.
All right, so let's wrap this up with the AIE meetups. Comic Palooza is Friday, May 23rd, which is tomorrow, at 5 p.m. in Houston, Texas. Kalamazoo Draft House for the X-Men Days of Future Past viewing is this Sunday, May 25th at 2 p.m. in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay, and I got to ask, Kalamazoo, is that really a place? You know, it's like Albuquerque. I don't think that actually exists. I think
I've been to Albuquerque too, and I know of several Cucamongas. So
some city names, I love them because they're so awesome. Okay, and with that, let's turn back to Abavan and that other guy. And what in the world is going on in Final Fantasy? It's actually been pretty quiet for the last few weeks. We have not had a lot of Final Fantasy news. I thought you guys had snuck out of the building or something when we weren't looking.
No, we are still here. We're just having too much fun playing the game right now. There's a ridiculous amount of things to do in the game. We've been talking on the last couple of weeks. Not a couple weeks, but a couple of times that the Final Fantasy crew has been on the podcast. We talked about getting started in the game, the game basic features, how you can be any character, can be any class, just equip the weapon and poof, you are that class.
I love that part of the game.
All right. It's very, very cool. You don't feel trapped in your character. It's how it works for me. As in just yesterday, I decided to be a botanist, which is essentially a flower picker / wood chopper. And now all the flowers, weeds. Yes, it's like one of your gatherings. You know how in WoW you have your herbalist, you have your miner, and Final Fantasy has the same thing, but it's an actual full-fledged class. You're not going to fight monsters with it. You're going to get destroyed. But that's how you actually get all your all your materials you need for your crafting classes. So I hit cap there. So no tree, bush, flower bed, weed, or berries. They all fear me now. I am the bane of all organic plants.
You are the master of the herb. I understand.
In some circles. So we talked about the early game previously, and we also talked about some patches that came down the pipe, and there is going to be a live letter coming up soon. So in the next couple of days, there's going to be floodgates of more information on the upcoming 2.3 patch.
Okay, I got to ask, what's a live letter?
A live letter is when the director of the game, Yoshi P.
It's not electric or anything, right? Like, we're not going to all die for watching it?
No, it's 100% safe. No Bothans have died to bring us this information. It's the director of the game, Yoshi P, who comes online and does a live stream. Now, given he is Japanese, so the live letter is in Japanese, but it's there is pictures, and there is also plenty of online live translations as well. But that brings us from the source the upcoming information on there. It's similar as if. Oh, go ahead.
So it's not just them posting a message. He actually comes on live and says, "Here's what's going on."
Yeah, it's almost
that's
like
awesome.
it's almost like the State of the Union address that they do.
But for a video game.
Yeah, fairly regularly, and there's been a few times that they've accidentally let information slip well before when it was supposed to. We found out about salvaging like 2 patches ahead of time, and
What do you mean that's not in yet? Oh, never mind. I said that. I did not say that.
The equivalent of the live letter would be if Chris Metzen decided to come online to talk to us about patch 6.0, not at BlizzCon.
That's
wow.
impressive.
Yeah, that would be the equivalent. And on a
It's
regular
nice
basis.
they put that much that level of personal involvement into it. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
And-
it is.
and they're not short. It's a good hour, 2 hours sometimes of that amount of information.
Right. So that live letter, that little online event. Again, there is a lot of time zone. It is a global audience. It is happening at 4 a.m. on Saturday Pacific time.
Oh, well, that's not going to happen. Sorry, guys. Have fun.
No. But 7 o'clock for Bon and my time, because we're East Coasters. So that is right when I'm not conscious, but I am mobile at that time. I just need some.
I'm heading to bed at that time. Yeah.
But that's when I'm start. I think I'm on cup of coffee number 3 at that point. But no, we have the live letter there, and it's going to tell us about the 2.3 patch. Now, we're going to have some more information for that later. I'm sure we're going to post to the forums. For those that are not aware, Bon and I do have our own Final Fantasy podcast. We're probably going to be doing something special for that as well.
And I believe that has something to do with a chocobo, doesn't it? Which is one of those ice cream treats you can get that look like a taco.
No, it's more like a. It's more like a.
I wish.
Chocobo.
I digress.
No,
It's
if you
like
know where's the
chocobo is more
podcast
like
at?
a little chicken that kind of acts like a horse and makes funny sounds, tries to fly like an ostrich but fails.
No, we definitely got a Pimper podcast. Where's it at?
All right, well, it's thechocobostable.com. It's the Chocobo Stable podcast, available on iTunes and now Stitcher. Okay, I finally got that approved.
Yay!
Awesome. Now I gotta ask, because the first time I heard it, I said that sounds a lot like the Cap Stable podcast. Is there any tie between those two, or is it totally random that it sounds so much alike?
It was completely random. They sound so much alike, but since it is Eve and espionage is part of the Eve mindset, I guess we could think of something.
Yeah,
Well, chocobos actually
chicken
live in
pie.
stables, so I don't know
So, yeah.
what. Yeah.
So yeah, where did Eve get it from? Come on, guys. Yeah. See, they stole it first.
Yeah, they are. They do it. The game does take place in the future. Eve does take place in the future. So maybe they went back in time and looked and say, "Oh, there's that Chocobo Stable podcast. That must be it."
The
But no.
most famous podcast from the golden age of podcasting. That's right. That's where they got it from.
Yep.
All right, so I digress. Sorry, but I can go ahead and continue. So.
No, okay. But seriously, we love you guys to download it. Bon and I are having a great time with that podcast. But anyway, So, live letter, we'll talk about that later. But right now, a lot of MMO players, what they do is they get to max level in the game, and that's where they spend most of their time is max level. And so far on the AIE podcast, we talked about early on in the games, early game mechanics. We talked about patch content that came out. Let's we're going to take our time today and talk about what you do when you're level 50. What do you do when you hit level cap and you need to do the elder game, do the end game stuff, prepare for it, what to do when you're at max level. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yay! Because I'm lost.
Right. Yeah, and like most games, it doesn't hold your hand through it, but there's tons of things you can do in the game. Tons of things to unlock, tons of things to do when you're max level. That doesn't include raiding. You don't have to focus yourself on what's the biggest, baddest dude that I can go kill and take their stuff from. There's many, many other things you can do. So, first off, ground rules here. Ludra, you may jump in at any time to ask any questions since you are a level 50 character. People in the chat room, if you guys have any questions, I am looking at the chat room here, obviously 30 seconds later. But you can ask your questions, and if you happen to be on Twitter listening to this live, tweet me at @Abelvan. I'll get that as well.
Yay! Look at that. He's got all this. He's got this command center up and going, and we're all just.
But I'm imagining him now in a big command center. Computers everywhere.
It's just a wall of screens, like 15 screens.
I just have 2 here. There's a work laptop there. I got my TV over there, and I got another monitor sitting around this corner that you can't see.
Yes, but no, to us now, you've got this NASA wall in front of you. So
you're in the Batcave with a massive.
I like what he's done with the Batcave.
It's brighter.
Yeah, really brightened up the place.
But anyway, so questions away, level 50 stuff. But let's go over some stuff you can do once you hit level 50. All right.
Okay.
So first thing you need to do, you should do, is you need to finish your class quest and you got to finish your main story quest. That should be number 1.
Okay, that means to say that there is a class quest and a story quest.
Every 5 levels in your class, you get a new quest to do, and then it switches to like your specialization job later. Like if you are a lancer, then you go dragoon or something. So yes, because you want your chest piece. Otherwise, you're running around in most of your gear and not the matching chest piece, and they hold that ransom.
So it's like in the secret world, when you get quests, you've got one main quest line, and you can branch off and do side quests.
No, it's more like WoW, but there's actually a singular quest line that you get from right when you roll your character that progresses all the way through to 50. So,
nice.
Similar to like how Star Wars is, how you have a story quest line that goes through there, but it's common for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things with the class quest, and the reason why it's so important to try to get it done first, is each class quest actually locks your special abilities behind this quest wall. So some of the stuff like Paladin's invincibility mode, you have to do the level 50 class quest first to actually be able to use this move.
Oh, the old WoW vanilla days. You had to quest to get your abilities, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so once you do all that, your story quests, you have your epic ending. You finish that up. The world is saved, or so you think. But the game lets you go and lets you do your own thing here. A couple fun things to remember here is that when you have one character at max level, all your other combat classes now get a 50% experience bonus. So if you're working on 2 different classes, you may want to jump over to another class because you get that 50% experience bonus just for having another max level character.
Oh, nice.
So,
Blizzard, do you hear that?
Right?
Other games do it too. EverQuest 2 does that. You have one character at max level. In fact, this actually in EverQuest 2 it actually stacks. So you can actually get 50%, 100. I forget the exact number they use, but if you have 16 characters, you can kill one one little rat, level 1 rat, and you can be level cap. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yeah, I don't have any max level characters in that game. So, one of the big max level story quests you can do there, or max level quest lines you can do, is what they call in Final Fantasy. They call it the relic. That's your weapon, and you can go through a nice long quest line to get a endgame weapon, and then it upgrades. You can upgrade it as you do additional stuff down the line. In each patch that they put in, added things and added levels that you can upgrade your relic weapon to.
Where do I get my relic weapon?
Well, we're going to go through the highlights of it real quick here. The full quest line we do have in the show notes. So for anybody who wants to know how to do that for the first couple steps here, up until the current patch that we have, feel free to look in the show notes here. That's posted on the AIEpodcast.com. Plug. So, okay. So first thing here, and Bon is much better at the endgame stuff than I am. So Bon, if I make any mistakes here, please correct me. Okay.
Okay. Before we get started, the biggest thing: do your story quest first. Everything at level 50 is locked behind that quest. You can't start your relic till you finish that story quest.
Okay. I need to go into a dungeon.
Yes, you have a couple to do.
I'm sure I do.
Give us a holler when you're online, and we'll get it done.
I'm online now.
I'm on a podcast.
Right now?
I'm on this podcast. I can't help you out right now.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know when that ends.
We had to commit to something else.
So, first thing you need to go is, you got to be level 50, obviously. Finish up your story quest, finish up your class quest. Then there's a dude you need to talk to in Vesper Bay, which is a little town which has like an organization that you do a lot of business with. And there's a little guy there that will let you pick up the quest line called A Relic Reborn. All right?
Yep, they're clever.
Wow.
Okay, from there, you got to do a couple FedEx quests, as in, you go talk to this person. They have information. No, you got to talk to this person. They have no, you got to talk to this person over here. Eventually, you get sent to this dude named Geralt in North Shroud. Talk to him. He says, all right, I need you to, I can make you this weapon here, blah, 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 blah. Go kill a bunch of bad guys for me. So you go kill a bunch of bad guys. And says, okay, now I need like a shell. So you go get a shell. And the shell's kind of important because you have to get a shell with two specific pieces of materia melded in. Now, materia is like a combination of in Warcraft speak, combination of gems and enchantments in a single fun-filled package, and you plop them into slots. So you have like multiple slots to work with, like gem slots.
Gotcha.
Now you can either purchase this weapon, you can make it yourself, or what people have been doing now is you go to the market and you purchase the item with the two materia pieces you need all in one package.
Hint, hint, if you're needing money, sell it that way on the auction house for a premium.
Yes. Yes, because anyone who makes a new class or any new characters who hit 50, this is the first thing that they do. All right. So you do that. You get this item. You turn it in. Then it has you beat on a few more bad guys. No problem. Then the fun things happen. You start doing what they call trials. Trials is
Guilty.
maybe objection.
Overruled.
Hold it. I like Phoenix Wright. That should be another game that we
too.
all play. Anyway, there's a bunch of trials, and trials in Final Fantasy speak is like a one-off boss fight. If you think in, again, Warcraft, think Onyxia, but without the trash.
Gotcha.
Think that one that you have to ride the drakes in the beginning of Lich King, Malagos.
Ah.
The one in Burning Crusade, Mag Theridon, or
Yes, that's another good one. Again, no trash. You just plop in, boss. That's a trial. and there's a couple trials you need to do for your relic quest. You have Hydra, and then you have to go do Ifrit hard mode, and then you have Garuda hard mode, Titan hard mode. I am missing one. I know I am, but
Well, it starts with Chimera. With these, to unlock them in the Duty Finder, you do have to go find the entrance of the location first. So it'll send you off into some crazy portion of the map, and then it adds it to your Duty Finder. It's like the random dungeon system in WoW.
He said duty.
yes, we all make that joke, and we still do. Okay, so you do a bunch of these duties. So once you finish doing your duties, how many more times can we make this joke? I can keep on going out for hours with the same joke.
I know.
All right, so essentially, once you finish up all your trials, you take it back, and then you need 225 myth stones, which is myth stones is your one of your endgame currencies. It's similar to valor and justice points in WoW.
Ah, gotcha.
All right, you do endgame stuff. You get this currency that you can spend on endgame stuff. In this case, you spend 225, and boom, you have your first relic. Congratulations.
Yay, relics.
It's a little bit easier than what it has been because a lot of people have better gear. People have been figuring the game out more. So this one is not difficult. Now some players can get it in their first day of being level 50 if you know what you're doing.
Oh,
Okay.
that wasn't me.
We'd love to help you out. There is one dungeon you gotta do in there, but that dungeon has been nerfed into the ground, so it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. They took out the hard mechanics.
They took out the mechanics.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
But it was to make it a little bit easier because they did add a lot of stuff onto this relic quest line.
Yes, they
and
did.
it made it hard to get something that was required to go farther into the game. So it was a needed nerf.
Right. It was something that was done very early on. That was a DPS check / movement check / you know how to play your character check. And now it's much easier to do. So casual players and people who don't want to read theory crafting sites can just go in and just blast their way through it.
So now it's, we want these people to keep paying us money. Let's let them
Exactly.
get through the game. Right.
Money is good. So
I'm all for that too. That's not a slam. I'm all for that. Let's make the game fun.
right. Especially since there's tons of more things to do now. So now you have your first relic. Now you can upgrade this relic. This one is much easier to do. You just need 900 myth stones.
Oh, well, just 900. Jeez, that's 20 seconds there.
Well, everything you do in endgame gives you myth stones. So
Okay.
that is, when we go over some of the other things you do at level 50, that's pretty easy to get. You get that, buy a couple items, poof, you got your next one. The next item to get is something that you need to do called Atma, and this one is something that will take. It's difficult to get. You have to go out and do fates, which are like public quests, which is you want to help out in this little quest, that pops up every so often in different places. You just walk up and just start doing whatever the quest is, either killing bad guys.
So rifts.
Yes, exactly.
Sort of,
Gotcha.
but with a little bit more like things in there because some of it's like returning supplies and
Protecting.
stuff. Yeah.
Protecting certain points from waves of bad dudes. Those things. You run that, and you have a 1% chance of dropping an Atma in there just by participating in there. And if you have to get 12 of them, and each one's in different zones, so you have to run around and do all that stuff. That's the stage that I am on. Some people can get them very quickly. Some people are not lucky with the magic dice.
1% chance?
1% chance per.
Holy cow.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit of a grind. Now, again, there's a new patch coming down, just like everything else. Things got a little bit easier, so this time next week we might be, if you talk to us, we'll say how easy it is. Who knows?
Right.
So that's your relic. So that's one thing you can do once you hit level 50 there. The next thing you can do there is just start unlocking all the other features of the game. You have your many dungeons you can unlock there. You have, again, the show notes will have a list of all the level 50 dungeons, including some of the hard mode dungeons that they've done, which is more than just ramping up the experience, or I'm sorry, the hit points and the damage that the monsters do out. They're actually different dungeons in the same theme of the original. So there's one called Hawk Manor. It's like a little haunted house. It's a real cool vibe. I really like that place there. And the hard mode version of it, all the paths that you would go down normally in normal mode are all blocked off, and you go down and you experience an entire different section of the haunted house. Mm-hmm. And that's really cool. And doing those, just like in WoW, doing heroics in WoW get you justice points. They give you myth points and a couple of the high-end currency currently, which is solidarity stones. All right, plus you can get better loot in there because they're in-game dungeons. 4 people, you go in. If you unlock enough of them, you'll unlock what we call your duty roulettes. Your roulettes is like your random dungeon finder, as in you say, I don't care what I do, I just want to do something. Go in the roulette, you get something on that list, and you come out with some really big rewards. And they also have the bribe a tank feature as well, as in tanks are in need. Here's an extra 4,500 gil to jump in. 4,500 is significant.
Yeah, I mean, exclusively with just doing that, I actually earn almost 100K a day just from doing my dailies.
Nice.
Wow, that's a lot.
So it's good to be a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. My tank's only in the 30s, but so I do my lower level stuff there. Even when you're leveling, you can do the low level roulettes and the guild levy roulettes, and to get some crazy, ridiculous experience.
Nice. Yeah, they balance it out with the low-level roulettes on your way leveling up. Instead of giving you the tomes and extra money, they do a translation rate to the amount of XP you would get instead. So there have been times I have gotten over 75% of a level on doing just one low-level duty roulette.
Wow, that's impressive.
Nice.
Yeah, so it makes sense to do them when you're max level or when you're leveling. So you have all those, and then you have your all the trials you can get. In addition to the ones you would have to do for getting your relic, there's some other ones to do as well. A couple of fun ones to do. There's the Mughal King, which is a absolutely fun fight. There's the Gilgamesh fight, which is when you're not fighting the server, because we do play on Gilgamesh. That's not what we're talking about here. There's an actual boss called Gilgamesh, and that fight it's very simple to do, but it's made to be a very comical fight. It's almost like a boss you go in and it's just flat out fun to play.
Neat.
Yeah, and with the Gilgamesh one, it's actually locked behind a quest line called the Hildebrand quests.
Yeah.
And they are
lighthearted.
Coded different. Yeah, they're lighthearted, and it's also more cinematic. So they give the people in that quest line different animations than anyone else in the game has.
Yeah, there's this character called Hildebrand, and he is a fun character. His quest line is made to feel episodic and made to be funny. It is not serious. It is about exactly the opposite of serious. All right.
Cool.
It does have a flavor of Japanese humor though, so there will be a couple times where you're like, I'm sure this is supposed to be funny, but I don't quite get it. And then other times, stuff that's probably supposed to be serious, that you end up laughing for like 45 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And doing one of them does get you the best dance in the game, the Manderville. Yeah, you can get multiple dances, but through the game as well. Each town has their own specific dance, but one of his quest lines has his own ridiculous dance that I just love doing.
I just love the idea they give dances as a quest reward.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You have brought me 5 dead sheep. Let me teach you this dance I made up.
You are not far off from how the game actually works.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so you have your trials, which will unlock certain things there. You have your Hildebrand quest. Other things you can unlock is your other roulettes out there. You have a main scenario roulette, which by playing through the main story, you unlock that. So you have that, which will give you, I think, an extra 80 to 90 miss stones every time you run it.
It's 100 of the lower level every time you run it.
Okay. So run that. It's easy myth. You have your guild levy roulettes, which will like little small 4-man encounters. It's mostly for lower level characters, though.
With the guild levies, though, the one thing that is nice about that, if this is your first game playing, the guild levy roulettes actually teach you simple mechanics. Like the first one is the way to finish the fight is how to pull mobs away from a group. Other ones are how to tank 2 separate locations. So it's all very simple things that high-end raiders already know, and this gives you XP and a reward for learning, this simple, concept.
Nice. It's a good idea.
All right. Other things you do at 50. You have the Beast Tribe daily quests, which is a faction that you can run dailies with and get rewards, pets, and stuff and mounts and other cosmetic things. Nothing game breaking. Nothing that will make you the greatest endgame raider by doing that. So it's 100% optional. But you can get some pretty cool rewards from them, and it will take you some time to do because you only get 6 daily quests you can do a day. So it's not something that if you only have like a half hour to play, your Beast Tribes are your best bet.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
with these, they actually tier up. So once you get to the point where you're close to hitting reputation cap with said tribe, you can get, I think it's 4,000 to 5,000 per quest in Gil.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm only on the second tiers on the ones that I'm working on, and I feel like I'm doing pretty. I do pretty good with the deal with them, but
yeah.
Those and the first tier ones you can actually start in your. I think 42 is the lowest one with the sylphs, and I think
45. I think
44 or 45 around there for the. I can't pronounce it. The Amalja.
Yeah, Amalja,
looks
something
good
like that.
Yeah, that's my only pet peeve I have with fantasy games in general is the liberal use of the apostrophe.
That's why I always liked J.R. Tolkien's, Mount Doom. Okay, I get that. I can say that.
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
ring.
Yeah, until you get to the Elven lands, and then you have
Mirkwood Forest. I can deal with that.
Yeah, me too. Exactly.
So you have your Beast Tribes. Past that, you have each major patch, so 2.1, 2.2, and eventually when 2.3 hits, there's an extension to the main story. There's like each one. No spoilers there. I'm not going to try to spoil it, but the game does end, the main story does end in a cliffhanger because it's an MMO. They have to give you the hook.
Of course.
Yeah, and you go through more quests. When 2.1 came out, we had some more main story stuff to do, and then another trial that was released, and then you do that. Everybody's happy. World is saved. Yada yada yada. Hook for the next patch. Da 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 da. More story stuff.
They do a fairly good job of keeping you engaged. So when a patch with content releases, you get that boost, you get back in the game, and you play some more, and then dead center before the next patch, you get information about that patch. So we hardly ever go more than 2 weeks without a giant chunk of information or stuff to play.
How often are the patches?
They're pretty frequent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at patch 2.3, and see the game 2.0. You know, the A Realm Reborn was launched. Was it November or October?
I want to say October.
October. Okay, so we have October. Game originally came out. We are coming up to our third patch in 6 months, so about once every 2 months if we
Nice. Very
chop them up.
nice.
And each one has intermittent patches as well that adds a couple things here and there. We are being told we're going to get some PvP stuff this next patch, but we'll find out some more stuff soon. They say that they fix a lot of it, but we'll see. I'm definitely going to check it out. So next up, extended story content and more Hildebrand quest lines. Again, Hildebrand quests are great. I love them. Your humor may be different from mine. I actually own the Pest back here. If you don't know what that is, you're probably better off. If you know what that movie is, then you kind of know what kind of humor I have.
Yes?
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
All right. Also, there's another quest line that came out in 2.1. It's going to be expanded in 2.3. Is the Crystal Tower, which is actually
Dun, dun, dun.
which is
I don't
actually
know. It
the
doesn't
name
sound
of a. It's actually a name of a dungeon in Final Fantasy III. This is the Final Fantasy III of Japan, not the one that we had on the U.S. shores for Super Nintendo. But there's
Not
something called.
confusing at all.
Nope. No, it's not. Not at all.
Not a little bit.
We call it now the hardcore Final Fantasy nerds out there. We call it Final Fantasy III. We know what we're talking about. We don't say 3, the Japanese 3. We just say 3, and we know what we're talking about. And we call the 3 that we got on the U.S. shores. We call that one 6.
My daughter's
Yeah.
actually very much into Final Fantasy, and if I even try to go there, I get corrected so often I don't even try anymore.
Aw, that's sad.
Just remember, you do have a whole free company worth of Final Fantasy nerds here to help you out, so we can help you out with that. We're here for you, man.
Guys, I have to talk to my daughter, quick. Explain. What's with that big sword that's made up of all the little swords? I don't get it. No.
Just say Terra is always awesome, and you'll be fine.
Okay.
So you have Crystal Tower is much like it's a 24-player raid, but it works like LFR and WoW. You actually just queue up for it with whoever you got, and then it just plops you in. It's a very simple raid. It's not the mechanics are not overly difficult. It's very forgiving, just like LFR, and you can get some very, very nice loot and a lot of tokens out of it too.
Nice.
All right. The next thing you unlock is the Binding Coil of Bahamut. That is the endgame raid.
Okay, that's the big one.
That's the big one. It comes in turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is the original stuff, and then 6 through 9 is the latest and the highest tiered stuff.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Once you gear up, then you can do that stuff. There's also extreme modes, because hard mode isn't hard enough. We had to go to the extreme.
Oh,
The
well.
ludicrous mode.
Pretty much.
I hear they're very difficult. I personally have not done them yet, but I hear they're very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Other things you can do, you can upgrade your gear. You can upgrade it just by doing all the stuff we've been talking about for the near hour. There's also crafted gear you can get from crafters out there, or just ask the greatest free company ever in the history of free companies, AIE.
Yes. Seriously, most awesome people ever. I asked a question that I thought was kind of dumb, but no, many people answered and helped me out and everything. It was great.
Yes, so AIE, the most awesomest thing in the history of ever.
Yep. Ever.
Now, onto the crafting thing, though, there is something actually really important to add there. With the last content patch we also got new crafting items. And with each major content patch from here on out, they're going to give us new stuff to craft every single time.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Because there's nothing worse than when crafting gets stale and you feel like it's not really good for anything anymore.
Yeah. Well, with this one, they added a lot of springware, like, it's like summer dresses and stuff like that, and like big hats and.
I was picturing metal coils.
So it's sort of your flowing dresses and sailor outfits and that type of thing. And it looks like they're going to update that with each season as well. So you're going to get actual helpful gear and then glamour gear from here on out.
Yeah, and glamour is the Final Fantasy equivalent of transmog or cosmetic sets, except that the actual you don't go to an NPC to transmog. You actually have to go to a player and get a player crafted consumable item to change the appearance of your gear.
Pretty prisms.
Yes, the prisms. Yes.
Very
there's
good.
that. A couple other things to do at 50 that we're going to go over here. You may be level 50, but you may not have all the skills required. Well, I don't say required, but all the skills possible that you run by your class. Since you can have multiple classes just by changing your weapon, but you can have something else in there called shared slots. Like for instance, on my Black Mage, I'm going out there, blowing up bad guys, throwing fireballs, lightning, ice, kablooies. But I also leveled up my archer. My archer, once I got up to a certain level, it got a skill that allows me to do 20% additional damage for 15 seconds, or whatever how long it was. A offensive cooldown.
Okay.
So that's an archer skill, but it's a cross skill that's compatible with my Black Mage. So what I went through is I went through all the skills that I could get on the other classes and figured out, okay, I can pull this one in, and this was compatible and so forth. So it actually gave me a reason to play the other classes.
That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
That extends to crafting as well. So if you have a culinarian up to a certain amount, you get a move called Hasty Touch, which lets you increase the quality of your item without spending any ability points, basically. And you can use that on your armor smith. And a lot of those abilities can shift back and forth, and you can tailor your crafting even to a playstyle that you would like.
Neat. They put a lot of thought into this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It turns out you have to put a lot of thought in when the first version of your game stinks up the place, and you have to cancel it.
Yeah.
That was. It's nice to hear they
survived. We got to get
that.
this because it's very seldom that games can go bye-byes and then they have to come back. They have to do something really special, and I think this game has done here. We got one more thing to talk about here, and we have something called a challenge log, and this is a weekly thing that resets every week. It has a bunch of challenges, similar to achievements, but they're repeatable, such as run 5 dungeons, and we'll toss an extra 1,000 gil at you. Defeat 20 bad guys of appropriate level with your chocobo helping you, because your chocobos are not just mounts. They can be actually your fight alongside of you, can either tank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, you level it up. It has level and stuff like that. You can dress it up. It's a lot of fun. Kill 20 of those. Well,
you guys are way too attached to your chocobos, I must say.
I like my focus.
As soon as you start playing Zod, you'll know. So we'll throw an extra 50,000 experience when you hit that, and an extra 1,000 gil. You do five of these challenges, we'll give you an extra 5,000 gil on top of that. And it keeps on going, and it resets every week, and it's a great way to get experience for your other classes or for your chocobo, or you can also get PvP rewards for that, so you get additional PvP marks and gil as well. It's a great way to generate funds and gives you something to do each week. Since you only have 6 daily quests each day, I sort of treat the challenge log as like my daily, or really in this case my weekly routine of the game. So this day here, I know I need to run 5 dungeons this week to get the reward. I'll run one on Tuesday. I'll do one on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm kind of busy between the podcast and my other rating requirements. Friday's out. Saturday's good. Sunday, I'll do 2. Boom, extra 1,000 gil. Plus, I probably got some other ones, so I might have 10,000 by then.
Nice. All right. Before we close the show, is there anything else you want to tell people about Final Fantasy?
Come play.
Come play. It's actually a great game, guys. It's
to that point. It is a paid game, right? It's a monthly.
It is a paid game. I don't know if it's still going on, and I don't like advertising for other companies, but they do have it for sale for $12 right now. The GameStop does have it for sale on their website. Download version only for $12.
Is there a monthly subscription fee, or is it a pay once?
Unfortunately, yes.
Now, there is a sub. You do buy the game. You do get 30 days to play with, though.
Okay.
And on top of that, there's also 2 methods of pay. So if you only want to use one character, and you're more than capable of doing that, it's $12 instead of $15.
Okay. So you pay $3 more in order to unlock more characters?
Yeah, like I think it's 8 per server.
Yes.
All right. So, and what server is AIE on?
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh. I know you
said trial Gilgamesh.
Right. And what are the limits for joining AIE in Final Fantasy? Do you have to be a certain level?
You have to be playing Final Fantasy 14 on either a PlayStation, computer, or the other PlayStation. It's available on PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4.
So it'll take anyone at any level, right?
Any level. Just come on in. We'd love to have you. We'll show you guys the ropes. The guild vault is filled with pets. I'm sure we can. We'll toss you a few there if you need help.
Illusion left some pets behind.
You can only have one copy of each, so I had to.
There is one actual minor requirement. We cannot send you an invite into the guild till you get out of the entrance tutorial. It's like a cutscene and a paragraph. But for some reason, the way they have it set up is you were actually on your own individual shard. There's no other characters where you're at, and we can't send you an invite while you're there. So it does take it takes like maybe 10 minutes, and then you can get your invite.
I think Radozato just triggered the memory in the chat room there. Isn't Gilgamesh the guy who is always trying to kill the Smurfs?
No, that's Gargamel.
Gargamel. That's a totally different game. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, then let's call that our show for tonight. Abovan and the other guy, thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll start with you, Abo. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Well, I have 2 easy ways to get to me. I have my own personal Twitter account, which is @Abovan. As I said before, Bonruko and I, we do the Chocobo Stable podcast at the Chocobo Stable or thechocobostable.com.
And you can reach me at Bonroku, BONROKU.
Now that means good Roku, right? I think that's the translation. You really like the Roku device? Is that the?
It came from an anime a long time ago. It's nerdy, but however, I'm also one of I think 2 on WoW, so it's unique apparently.
Nice. Outstanding.
Of course, now that I've said that.
Yeah, everybody else is going to take it now that you said that, right? All right. Next week we'll be talking to the gang from The Secret World.
Ooh, hopefully they'll share their secrets. But for now, stay tuned, as we've got a full ride of great AIE member segments coming right up, including Buxley's Journal, Ask Miss Mulgra, Overlay Dramatic News, Mega Minute, and Hailing Frequencies.
But first, if you need to reach us, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow the show on Twitter at AIE Podcast. Gomez, when he's around, is at Show Not Found, although this week it was Gomez Not Found. I am at Accusad. Aludra is at Aludra_AIE because she is all cool with the underscores and things like that. We record live with video every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can join in the chat room like the dozens of people who are chilling out now with us, and you can play along with us. Or you can tune in and watch one of our past shows on our website at theaiepodcast.com. Our theme, which you heard at the top of the show, if Gomez put it in there, and we'll hear at the end if he puts it in there, was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. You can follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website, keyswithsoul.com. So, until next time, AIE, this is Accusad.
This is Aludra.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Bye.
Okay, Gomez, I know you can put some audio in there. All right. Abba, Bonroku, you guys have a very, very difficult task in front of you. You need to pick the show title from the suggestions prompted by the chat room. So, chat room, we need show title suggestions. Guess this means you.
We use that one.
All right, we got Rado's got. We're on Gurgamesh. Gurgamesh.
Yeah, it's a meme.
Oh, sorry.
I don't get it.
Anyways, Odd,
We're on Gargamel.
do you hate movies by chance?
Me? No, I love movies.
You love movies? Okay. Do you want to hate movies? Because while I was talking about the movie The Pest, you will hate this movie with a passion. It
can't be any worse than Nacho Libre.
It might be. John Luciano and a bunch of other 90s people.
I have to look for it. No, I don't think I've seen it.
Are you coming to No Talk this year?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
Yeah, especially with my wife and stuff, we're just like, yeah, it's probably not a good time to be spending the money. I expect to make BlizzCon. I'm really hoping to make BlizzCon.
Okay. If it's on Netflix or some other streaming service, and the movie is dumb as hell.
Is it like
the deep secrets of Final Fantasy XIV?
I sort of like that one.
I like that one too.
All right, you guys want to pick that one?
More than a WARP card. I'm sorry, Sybil. That's.
Yeah, don't forget there are 30 seconds behind us, so.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have a winner yet, or you want to keep waiting?
Vaughn, what do you think? You think the WARP?
Yeah, it's funnier than Reveal Deep Secrets.
Yeah.
Okay. It simply gets like every other show title, so it's okay if Sybil misses one. All right, chat room, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you doing it every week, even when it's not so good because we're missing Gomez. Sorry. We'll make sure he's here next week. And with that, I am sending us off. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.